afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our fantastic Freeform webinar from the Greenwich Apple Regional Training Centre. A few welcomes and introductions before we go any further. So my name is Tim Lings, and I'm Director of Digital Learning here at Heronsgate Primary School, and I'm joined by my colleague Ralph. Do you want to say hi, Ralph?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Ralph Corrish. I'm a Year 5 teacher here at Heronsgate, Apple teacher, and joining Tim and Andrew on all things computing at Heronsgate.
And finally joined by Andrew. Do you want to say hi, Andrew?
Yeah, hi there, everybody. I'm a Year 6 teacher here at Heronsgate, part of the computing team as well.
Fantastic. So we are part of the Apple Regional Training Centres. It's a programme across the UK and Ireland that aims to build the skills and confidence of educators to use Apple technology inside and outside the classroom. And we're a community who share best practice and inspire excellence through teaching with Apple technology. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, or the social network formerly known as Twitter, you can follow us here or email us or get updates, things like that. Exciting. So today we're going to be looking at Freeform, which is a new app from Apple. Well, I know when I say new, it's kind of a year or so old, but it's basically a collaborative app. There's this infinite canvas. You can add drawings, text, images, videos, documents, everything like that. So it requires on an iPad, iPadOS 16 or greater, or on a phone, iOS 16. And if you want to do any collaborating, you need an Apple ID. So it does work with managed Apple IDs if you've got them in your school, or a consumer Apple ID. Also works fine. So this is a little bit of what it looks like when you first open it. So it's a bit reminiscent of Notes. You've got all of your boards here. I've got none on my little demo screen here. And this is where you'd organize them all. You can make new boards and you can search for the board you've made if you've got loads of them. So they all live in here. And then once you've gone into your board, you've got along the top just some simple toolbars with different controls. On the bottom left, you've got your zoom controls where you can decide to zoom in and out. You can also pinch in and out. And at the bottom right, you can turn on and off the dots. So the dots kind of give you a clue of how big and little stuff is, but you can turn them off should you not want dots. So the first tool there is the markup tool, which brings this little palette of drawing tools. These are the same kind of across the interface. So if you've come across markup in another app, it's going to be very similar. There's some great tools in there, including a wonderful handwriting tool, which I'll show you in a sec. Lots of colors to choose from, so that already is pretty cool. Next up, you've got a literal post-it note button. So it adds a little square text box with a little drop shadow that you can change the color of, you can change the size of, you can rearrange them, rotate them. They're pretty nice. And if you tap on any object, it brings a little pop over with more options. But those are really handy for those collaborative post-it notes. You've got your shapes tool. So this is the same as Pages, Numbers, Keynote. You've got straight lines, you've got connectors, you've got simple shapes, and then you can search through all the shapes to find whatever you like. You can add text boxes, and again, tap on it to bring up the popover to change the font size, color, etc. Put it where you want. And then you've got your media button, which opens up a little smorgasbord of options, including taking photos, adding in photos or videos. You can use stickers in iOS or iPadOS 17. You can scan stuff in with the document scanner, add links. So that includes things like YouTube. So if you post a link in, it kind of expands out and you can get a preview of that website and you can insert any document. So it's basically can collect anything, which is pretty cool. Now there's a little document thing at the top left, which gives you some options. So here you tap on that, you can rename it, you could export it as a PDF or print it if that's what you want. And then the top right, you've got your share button, and this is where you would collaborate with others. So that's all this button does. So it's going to send a link to other people. So if you tap invite with link, you can either just copy that link if you make the settings so that anyone can join your board, or you could type in the names of the people. Now, if you're in a school with managed Apple IDs, so all the kids and the staff have got their addresses on the system, you literally can type in their name, tap on them, and then it will automatically add them into your board. So that's pretty handy in the classroom. So I'm going to now give you a little demo, and then Ralph and Andrew are going to share some ideas of how this could be used in the classroom. So first of all, we're just going to open up the Freeform app. Here we go, Freeform, lovely. So here I've got a couple of boards that we've already set up to collaborate between us. That's good fun, but I'm going to make a new board, tap the little square button with the pencil on, and here is my board. So first of all, let me just show you how I can zoom in and out by kind of pinching, and the dots kind of give you a clue of how zoomed in and out you are. If I tap on the button here, I can choose that as well. So that just kind of gives you an idea of scale. I can tap the bottom right here and turn on and off the dots. Very exciting and important. Okay, pen tool. Here we go. So we've just got normal pens. You can choose the color. So that's already useful. But just to kind of point out a few fun things along here. So you have this little one that looks like a tube of paint. This is like a fill tool. So you draw a shape and then it fills it straight away. So this can be used to kind of very easily create pretty cool little graphical effects. Or if you're a better artist than me, you could probably do something a bit more interesting than that, but that's my little modern art piece there. This tool is great. You've got a little paintbrush that kind of does watercolor, so that's quite nice. It's really nice. And last of all, we've got this calligraphy tool. So if you literally write, it looks like you're some kind of epic Etsy handwriting expert. So that's just nice. It makes you look like you could release TikTok videos with that. Amazing. Okay, so that's the markup tool. So you can turn it off, and then I can just select it and move this around. I could shrink it. So, once you've done some drawing, you can put it exactly where you want it. Next up, our post-it note tool. You can add it. He tries to rotate it. Yep, just 2 fingers on there. Rotate it wherever you want. Double tap, and you can start typing. If I tap again, you can change the color. You can change the font, keep bigger or smaller. And then you can also duplicate it. So if it's just the way you want it, that's nice. But if you tap these 3 dots, there's even some more cool things like style. So you could say save as insert style, which means that every time you add a new post-it note, it's that size and that color. That's quite handy. So if, for example, you didn't want just yellow post-it notes, you could make them all blue and say we want that a little bit smaller and I want them all italic. And I could tap the 3 dots and say style. Save as insert style, so the next time they all look like that. So that's quite fun. So there's all this kind of useful power for managing these kind of things. Next up, we've got our shapes tool. So we've got things, all of these shapes, but as you scroll along, it kind of goes more and more and more. And you've got headings along the top here, categories, that's the word, categories. And then you can even search. So say I wanted a lovely rabbit. There we go. Look, there is a rabbit picture. I can tap on it and change the color. I don't know, if I double tap, I could write in it. I can make it super big. So, say I was doing a nice little brainstorm about rabbits. I could pop that in the middle, have a little heading. So there's just a lot of flexibility here to make it exactly as you want. You've just got a normal text box that could be useful. And last of all, you can insert things, including photos, use your camera, you can scan things, or you can even add stickers. So if you watched our previous webinar, you know all about stickers, my new favorite feature of iPadOS 17. But here, if I wanted to add a nice freezy face emoji as a sticker, you can add that. So you can make your freeform boards pretty funky. Let's just rename this file. So top left, I can tap rename. My first freeform. There's some other fun things. So we want to export it. Perhaps we want to put it in a learning platform. Some students have done some work. You could pop that there. You can even print it. And then last of all, we've got our share option here. So if I wanted to invite with a link, I could, I'm just going to type some people's names. If I type, there we go. I'm going to add you both. Boom. So they should find it's appeared on there. So let's see what happens. Are they going to start causing havoc on my freeform board? Let's see. So my 2 willing assistants are going to start. Oh, someone's added a text box. And I'm just going to show you one last feature whilst they busily cause havoc. If you press on this button here at the bottom right, you can turn connectors, which means that if you tap on an object, it's got these little arrows. So you can basically join things up and then they snap together magically. You can even change the color of it and the size and dotted. So it's a way that you can so easily kind of connect things up to kind of perhaps tell a story, or if you're doing like a mind map, that's going to be a useful thing to do. But again, I just think that's just a super powerful tool that for creating these kind of visual displays of what's going on. So hopefully you've got a bit of an idea of how this app works. So I'm going to stop sharing now, and I'm going to invite Ralph to share his little idea of how this possibly could be used in the classroom. Over to you, Ralph.
Lovely. Well, the genius of this is technically you didn't even need to take off your screen sharing, because you could have been modeling everything I've been saying on your screen, because it's that collaborative. So if I just screen share, I think Andrew's going to talk about it a little bit from a pupil's perspective, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how maybe teachers could collaborate together for the help of the pupils. So I've decided that to use it in a way of sort of planning a unit and preparing a unit for the pupils. So I've gone along the ancient Greeks unit, because I'm in year 5 and we do the ancient Greeks. And so I've sort of created something here for sort of the first half of our unit coming up in the ancient Greeks. This is something that I would sort of, I think, send to the children, as well as working together with teachers. So you could work together, all the teachers in your year group, planning out the ancient Greek unit sort of that you have coming, thinking about the different lessons, putting all the resources into one place, and then sort of everything that the children need to access. So as you can sort of see there, I've laid it out. So you've got the overview and unit resources. So you could put on here, this is a keynote that the children will be working on during the unit. And if I wanted to access that, then I could view it, and then it will preview it here. So it's sort of like give you a bit of a PDF version here. But if you wanted to actually get the children to work on that, then they could open it in Keynote from there. And then different things here. So you've got the lesson slides there for lesson 1 on a timeline lesson. Lesson 2, you've got slides again here and here for explaining everything. And you've also got the resources perhaps that the children could be using. And it's to do with the Olympics. I'm thinking I want to add something else. I haven't got everything I wanted for that. Maybe there's a link that I wanted to put on for the children or the other teachers to see. So I might just zoom out a little bit. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to add a link. So if I go up there and then I want to add a link, because I want to add a bit more information about the ancient Greek Olympics, because I don't think there's enough on our resources as yet. And then, so I've already copied the link from Safari, and I'm going to paste it in there, and then I'm going to insert. And as you can see, the link has now been added. So I'm going to add that further down here. And if I wanted just to look at it again, look, I could press the view button, and it would take me into the ancient Greek Olympics and all the information that the children would need for it, for that particular lesson. So as you can see, it's a very, very useful way. So if I had, as I already do, had my team teachers along here. So if Tim and Andrew were my team teachers, they obviously have access to this. They could be thinking about lesson 4 or lesson 5 while I was busy planning lesson 2 and resourcing lesson 2. And say if you were doing a staff meeting where your task was to go and plan your ancient Greek history unit, you could then all work together during that staff meeting. Everyone could be assigned different lessons, and everyone could get the resources ready, get everything set, and put it all onto one document. This would then potentially be able to just share out with all the children if it was appropriate for that, or if it was just purely use for staff to have access in one place, then both would work. At the moment, there's nothing here to say that I wouldn't be able to just send that out to my children, and then they'd have all the documents they needed ready, and you'd go, right, today we're going to be looking at lesson 2. You've got all the resources there that you need for lesson 2. We'll have the slides there. They can follow along with me, but they've also got their overview and unit resources at the beginning as well. So again, as Tim said, if there was anything else I wanted to add in there for the children to use, I could perhaps I wanted to add some photos, I wanted to add some resources for them, then I could find it on here. If I wanted to add any text information, or if I wanted to do any kind of drawing, then that would be there. So yeah, as we said, if I go back out here, you can see the first free form that Tim just contributed to. You can see the other one, and that's the same view that Tim and Andrew both have on their iPads as well. And so they can be updating it at exactly the same time that I can be updating it. So quite useful for, say, maybe, like, as I say, like a staff meeting where everyone's working collaboratively to get a unit ready. I think that would work perfectly. Anything else to add?
No, that's great. And I think if you're going to share it with students, you can change the way that it's shared so that it's read only, so they don't have to. So you know, kids can't go in and break stuff. That's going to happen. I think it belongs to someone else, so you can't edit the collaboration settings. But yeah, I think the owner of, I think it's owned by someone else. I think it was actually your actual school Apple ID we did it with.
Cool, lovely. Well, I'll keep sharing then, and I will head over to Mr. Barnshaw for his Usain Bolt presentation.
Thank you very much, Ralph. Yeah, so let's just get my iPad shared here. Great, super. So as you can see on my iPad here, I've got the 2 shared freeform boards ready to go, and I'm going to be working on Collabo Great. I can't help, if I can see the opportunity for a pun, I will take it. As I said, as Ralph said, I'm going to be talking about from the point of view of the child or the student. So this is an example of a board that's been pre-prepared slightly by the teacher with a little bit in the top corner here. This is just using one of the shapes of the text boxes saying, create a fact file using the below resources in your groups. So this again would be very much between 3 or 4 children working on the same freeform board at the same time. And I've given them the guide of use the subheadings Olympics, Jamaica and early life, and then finally add a selfie video with your opinion of Usain Bolt. And then in the box below is the resource spaces I've given them to use in order to populate this. And I've already put the subheadings in just to save a bit of time, but as we've explored with the text and fonts, they could go wild and change those however they like. So let's have a go. I'm going to start with the Olympics. Let's click on this research link here and see what I've got. Great, so I've got a cool Usain Bolt fact file here. Just for the sake of time, I'm not going to spend too long reading through the information, as long as a lesson would do. What I am going to do, though, I really like that table, so I'm going to screenshot that table, crop that, because that looks like a really cool graphic I might like to include in my freeform board. So, okay, let's go back to images here, go to photos, and right, let's add that in there. I think that's a really good little graphic. I could save myself some time creating that myself. There we go. So Olympics. Now let's add my text box in here. So Usain Bolt was a super fast runner. So I'm not too imaginative with my research here, but this is just to show how freeform could work from the children's point of view. Let's change my font. Let's go for, I like chalk duster. That looks like fun. Make that a bit bigger, maybe. Oh, let's change the color, definitely. So children love getting creative and changing the way it looks from how you've set it up. So there's my little information there. I think I might have a go at adding a sticker in as well. That looked like fun. So let's go to stickers. So let's go new.
Just click on the emoji button along.
Mr. Lings, I'm going to make my own sticker though, you see. I've got a picture of Usain Bolt I've got pre-prepared. The children may have downloaded this from one of the links, but I'm going to add a sticker and create my own sticker of Usain Bolt. I can even add an effect. Let's go outline, really make it look like a sticker. There we go. Great. So I've got my own cool little sticker of Usain Bolt there. Put that next to the Olympics. Amazing. So, I could just spot down the bottom left-hand corner there. I saw a link appear. I wonder if that's going to be a member of my group helping me out. So as the name of this freeform board is called Collabo Great, I'm hoping that Ralph is going to join me. Maybe he can take care of one of the subheadings. Why don't I put a little post-it note in here and put Ralph's name so I can label that next to him there so that he knows that's the section that he's working on there. Great. So I can carry on with my section. I'm going to move on to Jamaica now, and I'm going to click on my research link, Jamaica here. So while my other group member is busy filling away in the subheading early life, I can move on to Jamaica. So Jamaica is a country in the West Indies. I'm cheating a little bit, just copying and pasting. Of course, we would encourage the children to read the information for themselves and paraphrase. But again, for the essence of time, I'm just going to copy and paste just to give you the idea. Great, so there's a bit of information. on Jamaica. Excuse my sniffling, I'm a little under the weather. But okay, great. Let's change the font there. Super. I think I want to add a couple more pictures in here as well. So again, I've already got some pictures ready. However, again, the children could have found these via the resource links I gave them, or you may have wanted to give them a bank of pictures that they could have chose from. So there's the map of Jamaica. That's really cool. And one of the really nice features I like with Freeform, if you zoom out or get a bit lost on the page, because it's very easy to scroll away and forget where you are. The bottom left corner here, if I click on that percentage, zoom to fit content, it will snap me back and put me back to where I am. So those children definitely will find themselves, I don't know where my work has gone. So that's a really cool feature to get them back to where they need to be. Oh, let's add perhaps one more picture of the Olympics there, just to give it a bit more of a flavor there. So you can see as I'm working on this section here, Ralph, my team member, he started putting some information down there on early life. So you can see if there was 4 or 5 of you working in a group, you could really start filling this board up really quickly, getting loads of cool information on, which is good fun. Oh, so I needed to finally add a selfie video. Okay, let's see if I can do that. So photos, oh, camera, here we go. Let's just turn that around, click on video. Just a quick one. So Usain Bolt won the gold medal in the 100-meter and 200-meter event. I think he is a super runner and a great inspiration for me. So just a quick video there, just showing you how you might add a selfie video in. There we go, and maybe I'll even give that a text box. Oh, there we go. Just my video. So spell that correctly, that might help. My video. And one of the features I really like about Freeform is the button just at the bottom here with the connectors on. So I'm quite an organized, well, I like to think I'm quite an organized person. I like to connect up my ideas. So if I go to basic and click here, oh, there we go, just puts that in the middle. Let's put my video there, and then maybe I can put that to that part there, maybe my video. Again, I'm moving a little bit fast here, but I could maybe put that next to my video part, so I know I've completed that part. I like the way that snaps together like that. Great. I think I've explored quite a lot of the options. I've not really played with the pen tool too much, but I want to keep my work quite neat and tidy. If it was perhaps an artwork, I might use the pen tool, but I like what I've done here so far. I wonder, Ralph, was there anything you wanted to add on to our Collaborate?
No, I mean, it just shows that while you were just getting on with that, doing it on your thing, I was just getting on and just doing a couple of little bits on the early life, showing that you can very easily, just all the children can work together at the same time. And yeah, just adding to their sections. I mean, probably I would suggest as a teacher, you're going to want to give them a bit of advice about making sure that each section is quite spread out. Just making sure that they're not sort of working on top of each other on it. And probably, I mean, I say maybe you're looking probably more towards maybe key stage 2, I would say, with this. Key stage 1 might be a little bit advanced for them, but sort of key stage 2, I think there's no reason why the children couldn't do their research in groups on this. And certainly as a sort of bit of research for maybe if they're going to then either do a presentation or if they're going to write a biography about them, then working in groups like this would be a really, really good thing for them to be able to refer back to when they were then going to write their biography.
Absolutely. And your point about working on top of one another, you know, we're working quite tight here on the screen just for the sake of the video so you can see everything happening at one time. But, you know, if there was 5 children, I could be way over here in this space, and then you could be way down in this corner, and then when we feel like we've finished, we could then perhaps start moving our work a bit closer, or again using that zoom to fit content so you capture everything that's been created in the same place.
Perfect.
Amazing. Well,
what do you grade me, Tim? What do you reckon? Is this an A?
I think it's good. I think there's just so much potential for this tool for that collaborative working. I mean, it's a great tool even if you're just going to design this for yourself, but the fact that you can add in other collaborators and then work on the same thing together. And if you're like children in a group, they're all working together, but they're sitting next to each other, it means that they can all do their bit, but they're not kind of, they've still got that eye contact talking to each other. Oh yeah, or could you move that? That's in the way, or oh, you do that bit. That collaborative work can still happen, but you've got this shared digital space that is really powerful. I know there's other apps out like out there, like Miro is a kind of a big one that does very similar things. So it's just really nice that this is free, built into the iPad and ready to go.
Yeah.
Amazing. Fantastic. So in the chat, or if you fancy coming off mute and just saying what you think, how do you think you might want to use Freeform in the classroom? What from you've seen shared today, kind of some ideas that come to you, just really great to share just before we finish. So if anyone's feeling brave to come off mute and share some ideas or just pop it in the chat, that would be brilliant.
Just a quick question, if it's all right.
Hi, Ben. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks very much for presenting that. On my version of Freeform, I'm not seeing in the bottom right-hand corner an option to turn off the little dots. So the little dots that are all over the page, I've got no option to turn those off, and it's not a massive deal, but it's just I saw in your icons you had the icons to turn it on and off.
Probably you might need to update your iPad because Freeform's built in.
Yeah.
When you update the iPad, Freeform gets some new features. So it's
okay. I'll have a look at that. Cheers. Thank you.
Cool. Ralph and Andrew, from today, even just trying these things out, what's the one thing you're going to give a go at in your actual classrooms?
Well, yeah, I think as I say, what Andrew did, we've got a few things coming up with some research going on. I think probably the secret to it is starting off simple, not trying to do too many children with too many sort of subheadings at the same time. Maybe even just start it off with just 2 children and just with a couple of different headings and just get it used from there. I think then build it up slowly, but there's no reason why the year 5 children wouldn't get that. But I think start it off slow, maybe just, as I say, if there's any research going, I might start them off in pairs and they can work together in pairs and then maybe move up to 3s. Yeah, I think sort of doing it with the way that the children can work together like that, I think is excellent.
Brilliant. Andrew, any thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really like the post-it note option, and again, similar to Ralph, I think I'd start off with something quite simple. So what I like the idea of having all the children be able to share their ideas all at the same time. So I could see it being really useful, perhaps at the start of a unit or the start of a topic, and just getting them to tell me what they already know about it. So they could all put their own post-it note down and jot some of their ideas down, and then leave their name, and then I could again use that Zoom to fit content. I could take a screenshot of all of the ideas in the same place. I could perhaps print that off, put it on display, hold on to it, look back at it another time, and then again I could use the similar idea perhaps at the end of the topic, where they all post what they've learned or their favorite part of the topic again on the post-it notes. So yeah, I really like the idea of getting everybody's idea down at the same time on the same page. I think that's quite a cool idea.
And the best bit about that would also be that then the post-it notes aren't all falling off the sheet once you do it, which when you normally do the what do I want to learn on this topic, and they all put the post-it notes on the big sheet, and by the time you come in the next morning you've got 30 post-it notes on the floor. So it'd be a win-win on that situation.
Yeah, and because you can set it so that if they've you don't have to, you can have it so it's just a link, then anyone can join with the link. That's a great way to get a whole bunch of people on it. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you on a future webinar or in person at one of our training events. Brilliant. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.